What is up, YouTube? It's your boy TheWalk71 replaced Day with a 4, and I am here with my first video in 2018. Wow, it's 2018. Yeah, anyways, this video is just me trying new stuff out, and what I mean by that is I kind of want to not expand, but talk about more stuff like on the wrestling side of my channel, because I'm gonna bring the gaming stuff back soon. Stay on the lookout. I got some stuff for y'all, but when it comes to the wrestling stuff, I kind of want to expand, so I'm trying something out right now, and I'm gonna review New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 12. Great show, by the way. Amazing show. I've been watching like New Japan stuff since Wrestle Kingdom 10, and then I've gone back and watched a few matches like Shinsuke Nakamura versus Kota Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom 9, and I remember getting into New Japan when AJ Styles was the IWGP champion, because like I said, I'm AJ Styles fan, you know, so I watched everything he's done. So I was watching him in New Japan, and it was really interesting to see the stuff he was doing. So I always stay up, well, not stay up, since Wrestle Kingdom 11, but I've always stood up at like 1 a.m. in the morning all the way to like 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning to watch Wrestle Kingdom. And it was a good show. It was not a waste of time. It was amazing. I fell asleep during the main event, and it's funny because I fell asleep during the main event last year, and I regretted it because that amazing match between Okada and Kenny Omega. But with the main event from this year, it didn't get, I wouldn't say get the same response, but it didn't have the same effect when I felt as though I fell asleep. But it was still a good match. But we're gonna get into it. And before, I know I'm procrastinating, but I'm just saying, beyond WWE, I do watch other stuff in pro wrestling. I watch Ring of Honor and New Japan as well as beyond WWE. You know, I have to, I mean, not that I have to, but it comes on, you know, Monday through Wednesdays, and there's a pay-per-view every other week in the month. So in between those times, I watch New Japan and Ring of Honor, and sometimes I want to review, but then sometimes I don't. But I thought, you know, I got free time, you know, I've been on break. New Japan Wrestle Kingdom just happened. It's pretty lit. I was really debating if I should review it or not, but screw it, I might as well. It was a good show. I actually paid attention, and I actually got some stuff in my mind written down. And a great part about it is this year's Wrestle Kingdom, I actually kind of knew more behind a lot of matches than I did previously, because I would look at the card and I would just be like, all right, this is gonna be a good show, let's see what the matches are. But I actually kind of like watched this dude on YouTube named Showbuckle, who does New Japan videos, and he explained the main event. He explained a few things about certain people, and then there was like certain matches I watched. Like I watched the finals of the G1 Climax, different matches like that, and I kind of knew, especially when it came to the main event, I knew the whole story with the main event, which made it even better to watch. But anyways, let's get into it. So the pre-show was a New Japan Rumble match. Now, I didn't see this part, and I can't pronounce the person's name that won it. So whoever won the New Japan Rumble, congratulations. I don't know. But we opened up the show with the great openers. We had Roppongi 3K, which consists of Yo and Sho, who used to be the Tempura Boys. They are part of the Young Lion system in New Japan, which, for people who don't know, the Young Lion system is basically where they take all the young wrestlers, up and coming, who want to be wrestlers. They train, they cook, they clean, they do all kind of stuff out of respect, and then basically they wrestle basic stuff. They wear black trunks, all kind of stuff at like the beginning of the show. Then eventually they're sent on an excursion to either like the US or Mexico to make a name for themselves, and they come back to Japan to become big stars. And that's what's happening with Roppongi 3K. As Yo and Sho were like part of the Young Lion system, then they got sent to America, where they were like the Tempura Boys, and they were wrestling all over Ring of Honor and other indie places. Then they came back to form Roppongi 3K with Rocky Romero, who just finished doing Roppongi Vice with Trent Beretta not too long ago, and he decided to become the manager of this faction as they take on the most constant tag team in the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Division, the Young Bucks, part of the Bullet Club. The Young Bucks have been in probably every single IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship match at Wrestle Kingdom that I've seen. At 10, they were in like a Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. Last year, they were in a tag team match against Roppongi Vice, so now they're going against Roppongi 3K. But this match was a great opener, and the reason I say this is because it wasn't your typical Young Bucks match. For anybody that has watched the Young Bucks for the past year or so, you know the type of stuff they do in their match. They super kick people 50 million times. They do Meltzer drivers, indie takers. They do all kind of flippy, high-flying stuff. The stuff that a lot of people criticize wrestling as they're saying that's what wrestling is now, but that's just one style of wrestling. They don't look at the other stuff that happens. They just say what the Young Bucks is doing is wrestling. This match, I'm sorry, this match was actually good because it was more of a slower pace sort of match between the Young Bucks, and it was like more, the Young Bucks wrestled more different than they usually did. To be honest, there were only like maybe 2 or 3 super kicks ever used in this match. A lot of the thing between this match, the constant was back, because Matt Jackson, if I'm reading this right, let me see. I'm gonna make sure I get this right, because the Young Bucks, Yo and Show and the Young Bucks are like 2 teams. The Yo and Show, because I don't know them very well to remember which is who, and then the Young Bucks is they look different, but I can't remember which names because their names are pretty memorable. But let me see, is Matt Jackson? Okay, I got it. So Matt Jackson earlier in the match had messed up his back by trying to do something, and he went over the top rope onto the floor back first. Boom. Then I believe it was Show. Okay, so it was Show. That's the one. He got his back messed up in the match. So during this whole match, each teammate was trying to destroy each opponent's back the whole match, kicking each other in the back, putting each other in the sharpshooter multiple times. There was one cool spot though where Rocky Romero took a powerbomb on the stage, and he was there the whole match. Like, he didn't move once at all. And it was just all kind of crazy stuff. I like the one spot that happened where Yo and Nick Jackson just looked at each other, and then their teammates was on like the opposite side, so they would just kick each other's opponents in the back and just look at each other. It was all intense. Like, Nick would kick Show in the back, Yo would kick Matt in the back, just destroy each other's back. It was funny. Now the ending of the match, it was kind of weird because the Young Bucks went for their finisher. They went for the Meltzer driver. Boom. You thought maybe that's how they end the match, but no, they end up putting Show in the sharpshooter and making him tap out. But the only thing I had I didn't like about it was the fact that, like, okay, we get it. You was using the sharpshooter. You was working on the back in the match. All right, cool. You can do that. If you're going to go for your finisher, finish the match with your finish. Don't finish it with the finish and then do something else. Like, it's either or. You can't do both at the same time. But that's how the Young Bucks beat Roppongi 3K to become the 7-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Honestly, I feel like the Young Bucks are the IWGP Junior Tag Team division. I don't feel like there's a team that's ever going to be better than them right now. Roppongi 3K might be, but we have to see as time will tell. But the Young Bucks are that tag team division. The second they're gone, that tag team division crumbles, so you have to give them the championship, honestly. I feel as though they shouldn't have lost in the first place. Anyways, the next match we ended up getting was the never open weight 6-man tag team championship gauntlet matches. We had the Bullet Club members, Young Bucks, who are also part of the Bullet Club. The Bullet Club, which would have Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, God, Gorillas of Destiny, and Balor Fale, as they would defend their titles against basically all the factions in New Japan, which would, whether it be Taguchi Japan, was it Suzuki-gun, or this made-up team of War Machine and Michael Elgin, or Chaos. So the match was your typical gauntlet match. One team will start, the other team will come in, they'll fight, one team will lose, another team will come in. The match was short, but it was what you, I guess, what you would expect from this match. The best part, I think, was War Machine. War Machine showed out in this match, even though this is their last match because they are heading to WWE reportedly soon. You know, hopefully they'll go to NXT. They'll be monsters in NXT. But they were going crazy in this match, especially Ray Rowe. Him and Zack Sabre Jr. were just kicking the crap out of each other. But they got eliminated when Zack Sabre Jr. put Ray Rowe in some kind of submission. He passed out. Boom. Then Chaos came in, which was Toru Yano, Trent Beretta, and Tomohiro Ishii, right? And basically Toru Yano won with the roll-up pin after like a few minutes of them just doing whatever. So then they were gone. Then after that, who came out? It was Taguchi Japan. And then they got out of there with the roll-up. They survived, right? So then the Bullet Club came in, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Bad Luck Fale. And then it was just, you know, I guess your standard like 6-man match. They just did whatever they did, but it felt rushed, but it didn't because the match needs to go on because it's like one of the matches I really didn't care. So what ended up happening was each member took each other out, and then Trent Beretta ended up hitting like a roll-up pin on, who was it? Was it Tama Tonga? Was it Tama Tonga? Let's see. So one of the Gorillas of Destiny brothers. I think it was Tama Tonga. and he put him in, like, he reversed the move and like got this like crazy pin. So Chaos ended up winning the never openweight 6-man tag team title match. So yeah, we have new 6-man tag team championships. Now, one thing I don't like, I don't understand this whole 6-man tag team gimmick. I've been seeing this a lot in Ring of Honor, especially because they just added those titles not too long ago, and now New Japan did it 2 Wrestle Kingdoms ago. I don't understand the point of it. I guess if you want to make a stable look good or a trio look good, then yeah, but like I don't get where the trend came from. Like, I know was it Lucha Underground did it, they had the trios titles, but it worked over there. I don't know why I'm not, like, I guess that was like, I guess it's oversaturated now because a lot of people are doing it, but I felt as though Lucha Underground did the best for some reason, because they would have women in there. Everybody can get it, honestly, when it came to that. Like, it could be women teams, it could be male teams, it didn't matter. This is kind of weird, but it's whatever, you know. It was what I expect out of a gauntlet 6-man match, you know. A lot of action throughout and out, and I didn't expect this match to be long. But anyways, the next match we ended up getting was Cody Rhodes taking on Kota Ibushi. Now, this match, I knew who was going to win this match. From the beginning, I knew Kota Ibushi was going to win, because there's no way they're going to have Cody Rhodes go over on Kota Ibushi with the way I see what they're doing with Kota. I feel as though Kota is going for the Intercontinental title against Tanahashi in the future. But anyways, we had the match. You know, Cody Rhodes, fresh off of his whole 2017 run as Ring of Honor champion, he lost that final battle to Dalton Castle, right? And that even more or less confirmed that Ibushi was winning, because there's no way Ibushi was going to beat Cody for the Ring of Honor world title. So they just gave it to Dalton Castle, who deserves it, by the way. So the match happened. The match started off very slow. It was more antics with Cody Rhodes. He was like messing with his wife, you know, doing all kind of stuff. Then Kota Ibushi did a dive. He took out Cody Rhodes and Brandy, but Brandy was like joking, not joking, like she took the bump, but then they were acting as though it was a trick, and then all kind of crazy stuff happened. The best part of this match is when Cody Rhodes hit a crossroads off of the apron to the outside. I thought he was dead. So then they got back in there. Cody Rhodes was on the offense for a lot of the match. Then Kota Ibushi got his comeback sequence in. He went for the 5-star powerbomb. Cody kicked out of it. Then he went for the Phoenix Splash, and he won the match. Now, this is what I got to say. I like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is what Ring of Honor needs. I feel as though Cody Rhodes is perfect for Ring of Honor. He is not perfect for New Japan. I'm sorry. He is perfect for Ring of Honor. He works for Ring of Honor. He's good. But when he comes to New Japan, he's not. Nah, bruv. Nah. Here's the thing. Cody Rhodes is an excellent wrestler. I have nothing but respect for Cody Rhodes. He has a family legacy that is very legendary. What he does is good for him and for Ring of Honor. But I don't know. It's like when he has matches against people from New Japan, he can't click. He had a match with Minoru Suzuki at, what was it? I forgot the name of the pay-per-view, but it was a main event. I watched that pay-per-view. Well, I watched the matches I wanted to. That was one of the matches I wanted to watch. And the match wasn't really all that. It was an alright match. You know, it wasn't bad, but it was like Cody Rhodes, I don't know. He just didn't come in his own. Then his match with Okada, you know, 2017 was Okada's year. He was having good matches from top to bottom. And then he had a match with Cody Rhodes, and he was basically getting dominated most of the time. It was like 70, maybe 70-30, something like that. It was a good match, but it wasn't over the top. I feel as though Cody Rhodes needs an over-the-top performance, and this could have been the over-the-top performance to get him more over. But it was a good match. It wasn't terrible, but I just felt as though he needs that match that's going to set him on fire. I guess you could compare Cody Rhodes to Kenny Omega when he was in the junior heavyweight division, and hopefully I'm wrong, but like because I don't want to sound stupid by saying I didn't pay attention to most of Kenny Omega's, you know, junior heavyweight stuff, but when he's a junior heavyweight, he was having those good matches, but he wasn't getting the recognition he gets now when he has matches, if you know what I mean. We all know he can have good matches, but I guess, I don't know, maybe it was just the wrong timing. I don't know what it is with Cody Rhodes. I know he can have good matches. His character is amazing. I like this whole thing where he's like wrestling royalty. He's a king. He makes people kiss his ring. All kind of crazy stuff. He came in with the fur coat on, a mink fur. You know what I'm saying? Like his dad. I don't know what it is now though, but like I feel as though he needs some over the top performance for him to be set, you know, separated from the rest, if that makes any sense. But what he's doing in Ring of Honor is amazing. I just feel as though what he does in New Japan doesn't need to be done, because he's not doing a lot. The next match we ended up having was for the IWGP Tag Team Championship. We had the Killer Elite Squad, which consists of Davey Boy Smith Jr., which is the son of the legendary British Bulldog, and Lance Archer. If that name sounds familiar, you might be right. He wrestled in TNA. I forgot his name, but he did wrestle in WWE. He was part of the ECW brand. Also, if you play SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, he's in the game. Let me make sure I got his name right. It was something Archer. I want to make sure it was Lance and not Vance Archer or something like that. What's his name? Okay, he was Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, whatever they call him. And they ended up taking on Evil and Sonata, who won the World Tag League a couple of months back. Now, Evil and Sonata are part of the faction LIJ. I'm not even going to pronounce it. It's Naito's group. And Killer Elite Squad are part of Suzuki Gun, which is a group held by Minoru Suzuki, who is going to have a match next after this. So this match was pure domination from the beginning. As soon as the match started, Killer Elite Squad hit their finisher on... They hit their finisher on... I'm sorry. They hit their finisher on Sonata, and Evil broke it up, and it was just pure domination for the majority of the match. They were destroying Evil and Sonata. I've never seen Evil get destroyed like this before, because like I watch New Japan. I watch a majority of New Japan, but I don't pay attention to every single body. I just pay attention to the matches that people buzz about, like a Kenny Omega and Naito match, stuff like that. But they were getting dominated. They started beating up the young boys. Lance Hoyt, Lance Archer. He has a tramp stamp or whatever, you know, but that has nothing to do with the match. But they were destroying the young lions that were on the ring. They were choke slamming people into people. They was doing all kind of crazy stuff, straight up destroying them. And then eventually Evil and Sonata got a comeback sequence. Then it became an even fight. And then they hit their finisher again, kick out of it. And then somehow, some way, Evil and Sonata won when Sonata hit a moonsault on... Who did he hit the moonsault on? He hit the moonsault... on Davey Boy. Oh no. Yes. They hit the Magic Killer on Davey Boy. You know, the Carl Anderson and Lou Gallows' finisher. They hit that. They kicked out of it. Sonata went for a moonsault and he won. But my thing was that match was pure domination. I felt as though this match should have been Killer Elite Squad destroying Evil and Sonata and winning. No offense at all. Just straight destroying them. That would have been clean. That would have established Killer Elite Squad as a dominant tag team. Now, I'm not saying that them losing the titles is not make them a dominant tag team, but just think about it. If they would have came in, destroyed Evil and Sonata, who won the World Tag League, which means they're the best tag team in New Japan that aren't the champions. They won the whole tournament just to get destroyed at Wrestle Kingdom. But they ended up winning somehow. That's crazy. So then the next match we ended up having was Minoru Suzuki, who was the never openweight champion, take on Hiroki Goto. Now, this match was a hair versus hair match, right? It was for the never openweight championship. This match was also started the way the previous match did. Suzuki was beating the crap out of Goto, hitting him with chairs, beating the crap out of him. And basically, Goto got lucky this match. The whole gimmick with Goto, it seems as though, like, I know last year they did it when he faced Shibata. He was in the same match for the same title. Not a hair versus hair match, but a match for the never openweight title. And basically, his whole thing is that he could never win the big one because he was in the finals for the G1 Climax last year. We know who won it. It was Kenny Omega. So his whole thing is that he can't win the big one. I don't know what the feud is with them, but they were just beating the crap out of each other. Well, no, Suzuki was beating the crap out of Goto. Goto got his little shots in here and there. And then it ended up, you know, they just kept beating the crap out of each other. I don't know why I keep saying that. Suzuki was beating the crap out of him. And then Goto would get in it, and then he would eventually hit his finisher, won the match, and the best part of the match wasn't even the victory or whatever. So it was a hair versus hair. Suzuki was trying to run away, but then he was like, no, I'll do it myself. So my man's Goto set up a ring in the chair. He had the clippers in his hand to shave Suzuki. My man Suzuki took a chair, smacked the other chair, put his chair down, grabbed the clippers, cut his own hair, and left the ring. Minoru Suzuki is a legend. Even in defeat, he still looked victorious because he did not let Goto touch his hair. He didn't even sit on Goto's chair. He had his own chair. He was on some clean stuff. That was clean. I messed with that. That was nice. That was cool. The match was cool. Suzuki did his thing. Suzuki-gun. I kind of mess with Suzuki-gun because like they're kind of weird and different. Not weird and different, but like I don't know how to explain it. But Minoru Suzuki goes crazy. Like the stuff he does in his matches is amazing. The strikes he does, the MMA stuff, because I think he was like an MMA fighter or something like that, or he has MMA training. The submissions he pulls off in the matches, all kind of crazy stuff he does. It's crazy. I'm not a big fan of Suzuki, but he's starting to grow on me. Like I really like him because when I first saw him, I was like, who is this weird dude with the haircut? But then when I started watching some of his matches, he's actually pretty good. He's he's clean. So the next match we ended up having was Marty Scurll, who is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. If you don't know, the Junior Heavyweight is basically the Cruiserweight division, but New Japan knows how to treat it correctly, and New Japan's been doing it for years now, which is why everybody else replicates them, including WWE and everybody else. TNA too, because the X Division title is the Cruiserweight title now. Anyways, we have Marty Scurll, who won the title from Will Ospreay previously, defend against Hiromu Takahashi, who is also a part of LIJ, which is Naito, who is in the main event, right? Kushida and Will Ospreay, who is part of Chaos, which is Okada's clique. Anyways, the match, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. The match was good for the stuff I've seen, but during this match, I don't know why I chose to just start doing random stuff, but I was just doing random stuff. Like, I don't know why I just started rearranging my bed. I don't know why I did it. I just did it, if that makes any sense. But the stuff I saw was nice. I saw Will Ospreay jump off of like the stage platform into this, I don't know, they had this little empty area by the fans that is like no seats there. This man Will Ospreay jumps off of it onto everybody. I saw Marty Scurll catch Will Ospreay in midair with the cross-faced chicken wing. Kushida is Raw. I feel as though Kushida should be the Junior Heavyweight Champion, but whatever. The match was just, what did you expect from a Fatal 4-Way? It was either Kushida or Takahashi who I thought should have won the match. Because I feel as though Marty Scurll, yeah, he's small, but I don't feel like he should be a Junior Heavyweight Champion. I feel as though he's more of a Ring of Honor champion than a New Japan champion, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, he was the Ring of Honor TV champion, and he was decent until he lost to Kushida, and then Kushida lost to Kenny King, and then Kenny King lost to Silas Young. But I'm getting off track. I feel as though Marty Scurll is not a, to me, he doesn't scream IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Will Ospreay, yeah. Kushida, yeah. Takahashi, yeah. Marty Scurll, I don't know. He's more of a, he doesn't seem like I don't know. I just feel as though he shouldn't be champion. Like, I like Marty Scurll, but I feel as though he shouldn't be champion. So the match ended up with Will Ospreay hitting his springboard cutter, and he ended up winning the match, and he is the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So yeah, that was the show. Now let's get to the final 3 matches, which these are the 3 matches that will be on like TV on Friday or Saturday, I believe, which is the Intercontinental Championship match, the United States Championship match, and the World Heavyweight Championship match. All 3 of them will be on Access TV, the final 3 matches. So let's get into the first of the 3. We had Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan. New Japan's John Cena. He is the IWGP Intercontinental Champion, and he is defending against Jay White, who was a part of the Young Lion system. He was actually with Young Show. And who else is a part of the Lion? It was somebody else that was a part of the Lion system with them. I think it was it might have been Takahashi. I don't remember. Anyways, I'm tripping out. Anyways, Jay White, he went to Ring of Honor, did his whole thing. He was kind of I don't know. He's growing on me now because I like the gimmick they have him with, the switchblade thing. But in not New Japan, in Ring of Honor, he was really generic. He was just a white meat babyface, if that makes any sense. He wore all white. He was boring to me. Like, I knew he was like good in the ring and all that kind of stuff. He was just boring to me. He wasn't appealing. But then when he came back with the switchblade gimmick, and he got the dark clothes on, he got the hair on his face, he carries a blade like he's gonna shank somebody, and he's been destroying Tanahashi by destroying his leg the whole time. Man, that's a future IWGP champion right there, or at least an Intercontinental champion or a US champion now. But in this match, I knew Jay White wasn't gonna win. It wouldn't make sense for him to win. I feel as though the whole thing with him, he's the younger guy, so I feel as though Tanahashi should, like, the way I thought this match should have happened was like, yeah, Jay White, it looks as though Jay White was gonna win, but then he loses to Tanahashi because Tanahashi is the GOAT. he's their ace, which means he's the guy. He's the guy, but he's John Cena, and Okada is Roman Reigns for like WWE fans or whatever. Let me see how long this video is. God, leave this video long. Anyways, yeah. So the match, Jay White was going after his leg like he did in the previous showdowns they've had. He went for the leg. It was a weakness, but Tanahashi ain't playing that. He went for a bunch of high fly flows. The best one he ever does is the one where he jumps all the way to the outside. It's always impressive, especially for a guy his age. He was going after his leg. Then eventually Jay White started getting his leg messed up by Tanahashi. Then it was just all around just a good match. Like, it was really insane. Like, they were, I don't know, man. It was a really good match. Like, I genuinely enjoyed it. But I feel as though Jay White should not have won at he should not have won at the Wrestle Kingdom. I can't think today. He shouldn't have won. I mean, he just got introduced back. I feel as though you got to build him up first before you have him beat the ace of New Japan. He has to be established first. That's kind of what they did with Okada. When Okada beat, well, actually the way Okada did it, he caught Tanahashi by surprise, but Tanahashi ain't letting that happen again. So, yeah, I feel as though Jay White, I think he's about the size of a junior heavyweight. If not, he's a heavyweight now, I guess. But yeah, the match was a really good match. It was really turning the show of New Japan around, and my man's Tanahashi hit the high fly flow while my man's was standing, and then hit another one just because, and retained the title using his veteran instinct. So the next match we ended up getting was the match that brought a lot of people's interest in it, because it's a match you would never thought you would see in 2018. We had Kenny Omega, who is the IWGP US champion, take on Chris Jericho. You're not hearing this. You're not hearing this incorrectly. This is Chris Jericho. Y2J, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, the list maker himself, Chris Jericho. But this Chris Jericho, way different. This is the Jericho. This is a savage Jericho. This Jericho beat the crap out of Kenny Omega at a show in Fukuoka, something like that. He beat the crap out of Kenny Omega. He made him bleed. He beat him with the title. All kind of crazy stuff. So this match, Alpha versus Omega, because Kenny Omega's name is Kenny Omega, and Chris Jericho is the alpha of the pro wrestling business. That's what he says. Barry Hill, Chris Jericho. I'm talking about middle fingers, cursing at people, pushing referees, all kind of crazy stuff. Kenny Omega came out like a Yukio Egyptian god. Yeah. The match was a no DQ match, which honestly works for Chris Jericho, because as Chris Jericho says, he's not going to be having a 5-star, 6-star, 20 kajillion infinity star match. He's going to have a blood match, a brawl, a fight, as he said. That's why they made it no DQ. And man, this was a fight. This was a fight. Yeah, Chris Jericho hadn't lost a step. And this just kind of shows what WWE does to people. Chris Jericho just showed that WWE limits their people. Chris Jericho, even though he was having a good run, in WWE with the whole list thing, he was getting over. He wasn't having great matches. Let's keep it a $150. He wasn't having those great matches. He just had a great character, which in WWE, if your character is great, your wrestling can suck. And for Jericho, he was not having good matches. He just had the list thing was over, and that was pretty much it. Like the last Chris Jericho match, like the last good thing he did was this. The stuff he did with CM Punk was great. How he called CM Punk out. Calling his family drug addicts, drunkies, all kind of crazy stuff. That kind of Chris Jericho where he just likes exposing people. I also like the Chris Jericho when he wore a suit and he punched Shawn Michaels' wife in the face. Stuff like that. But, they had their Chicago Street Fight at Extreme Rules, which I was at, and they beat the crap out of each other then. It was good. This match was better than that. This is Chris Jericho's best match in years. Anyway, so the match happened, Chris Jericho attacked Kenny Omega at the beginning while he was talking to the Young Bucks. And then eventually he took it to the outside. They were just beating the crap out of each other. My man Chris Jericho was assaulting young lions. He beat up the referee and then beat up his son, who was a young lion. Said, "This is your son? This is your son?" And then he was all kind of crazy stuff. Eventually Kenny Omega got his revenge back. He put a table on top of Chris Jericho and did a... Was it? Yeah, it was a foot stomp, right? And the thing I was scared of was Chris Jericho taking V triggers, but he took a bunch of fucking V triggers, if I do say so myself. My goodness, that match, very brutal. Then when they got to the ring, they got chairs. Chris Jericho eventually starts smashing Kenny Omega's head into the chair, thus making Kenny Omega bleed. Let me see if there's anything else I'm missing before I get to the you know, the later stuff. You know, all kind of crazy stuff. You know, Kenny Omega does his Terminator thing. He does the Terminator clap, flip off the rope. Then when he gets in there, he goes for a V-trigger. Nope, it was a Walls of Jericho. No, he hits a V-trigger. All kind of crazy stuff. This was a good match from Chris Jericho. I haven't seen a good match from Jericho in a minute. So once there was one part of the match where Kenny Omega hit the One Wing Angel. Chris Jericho kicked out of it. Then Chris Jericho hit a Cold Breaker. Kenny Omega kicks out of it. But the best part of the match was the ending of the match. When they set up a chair, right? Chris Jericho, I believe, took a bunch of V-triggers, right? Then Chris Jericho... No. He started going on offense, and he went for a lion salt, right? Tried to go for a lion salt. Kenny Omega countered it, puts him in the One Wing Angel, but he does it on top of the chair, and you could hear Chris Jericho's head smack the chair. 1, 2, 3. He won the match. That was an incredible match. Chris Jericho's antics in this match. He would give middle fingers to everybody. He would curse at people. It was one part he beat up Kenny Omega. He took one of the cameraman's cameras and just started taking pictures of him with his middle fingers up, all kind of crazy stuff like that. This Jericho was very savage, and this kind of shows you that WWE holds people back, because if this was Jericho last year, he would be the heel and all that kind of stuff and the list, but he wouldn't. He was very limited in WWE, but in this match, he was not limited. He did everything. It was a simple but deadly match. It was a war. They beat the crap out of each other. Kenny Omega was bleeding. I haven't seen Kenny Omega. Well, I haven't seen blood in New Japan in a minute, since like Shibata, when he headbutt Okada and ended Shibata's own career. Anyways, the match was good. Now I don't know what's next. I think Chris Jericho's gonna go back to the whole Fozzy thing. He came out to his own theme song, and he had the light up jacket. So yeah. So now we get into the main events of the evening. Sound like Bruce Buffer. We had Kazuchika Okada, the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, defend against Tetsuya Naito. Naito, who won the G1 Climax in August, earned the right to main event the Tokyo Dome show, which is Wrestle Kingdom. Now, let me give you a little backstory about this match. I'll give you a little bit. So, years ago, Naito won the G1 Climax, right? But he wasn't the Naito we have now, where he wore the suit, he's all badass. When he wins championships, he throws the titles because he doesn't care. This is before he found the Tranquilo in Mexico and formed LIJ, Los... I'm going to attempt it one more time. Los Ingobernables, you know what? LIJ. Listen, I'm not doing this today. LIJ. So, he won the G1 Climax, right? But he wasn't getting the babyface reaction he was supposed to get. And Okada was actually World Heavyweight Champion at that time, too. He was supposed to get, you know, the babyface reaction. Yeah, because his whole thing was that he's the future of New Japan. He's the hero. No reaction. He would literally come out to no reaction. So it got to a point where the New Japan offices decided to have a fan vote for the main event of that Wrestle Kingdom. I think it was Wrestle Kingdom 8, if I'm going to be correct. I think it was Wrestle Kingdom 8. And what happened was they did a vote. What would you rather have as the main event? Nakamura and Tanahashi for the Intercontinental Championship, or Okada and Naito for the heavyweight title? The fans voted for the IC title. So Naito, even though he wanted to be in the main event, got demoted to the second to last match, and Nakamura and Tanahashi got pushed to the main event. So then after that, he lost the match. Naito wasn't the same. He went to Mexico, found the Tranquilo, became who he is now, came back badass, and he was on a roll. Then he ended up defeating, was it Tanahashi for the IC title at last year's? No. He beat him for that. He beat him for the title, the IC title. And if you saw what he did to the IC title, he destroyed the crap out of that title. He used to bash the title on the stairs. He used to throw the title around the ring. He used to kick it, drag it, all kind of stuff. By the time Tanahashi won it at Wrestle Kingdom 11, there were no side plates on the championship. There were no kind of side plates. The title was in shambles. And that's basically how he felt about the IC title, because it robbed him of his main event at Wrestle Kingdom. So now he's found his gimmick. He's over. People love Naito. And now it's time for his IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. So the match happens. You know, first of all, I want to say my man's Okada was wrestling in go-go disco pants. I don't know why he was wrestling in pants. Usually Okada wears like tights that is like to like the thigh, like not the draws or whatever that wrestlers wear. He had like kind of short tights or whatever. I don't know. You could look it up. but Okada was wrestling in pants. That was okay. That was interesting. So then the match happened. It's going good, you know. Crazy stuff like drop kicks, all kind of crazy stuff. You know, Okada, the best wrestler in the world in New Japan. I say in the world right now, having good matches. So the match happens. You know, he does his little tranquilo stuff. You know, taunting Okada. Okada ends up fighting him. A lot of this match, you know, one part of the match that I like was when Naito actually pulled off a neck breaker on the barricade on Okada, which set Naito to work on Okada's neck for a lot of the match. And he also, what did he do? Red Shoes had the 20 count. Okada got back in around 5, you know. Then he hit a missile drop kick. He stomps at Okada in the corner. All kind of crazy stuff. So basically, he was dominating Okada. Not dominating him, but he's getting a bunch of offense until Okada finally got in with a DDT and a collar and a couple back elbows. All kind of crazy stuff. So we got to that part. We got to then Okada ends up hitting Naito with on the barricade and hits a DDT on the floor. So now he starts working on working on Okada's neck, sort of. Then he ends up going for his Cobra Clutch. Now previously Okada was developing the move as a way to counter Naito's Destino. He would work on the Cobra Clutch. So he actually was hitting it on Okada. Okada was hitting it on Naito. He's in the Cobra Clutch on him just to try to see if he can make him tap out. He didn't get out of it. Naito ended up putting his leg on the rope. Then eventually they start going at it again. You know, Okada hits another Naito hits another neck breaker on Okada. I'm reading this so I can remember what I saw. So then he ended up going for a super Hurricanrana, but it was reversed into a 2 count. Naito hit a side slam, and he also went for the Stardust. If you don't know what the Stardust was, it was his old finisher, which was like some flippy moonsault thing he used to do when he was like the baby face. And the thing is, in one of the matches, he tries to go for it and he misses it, and he realizes that he can't be who he once was, so he went for the Destino instead. So he tries to go for that move, misses it. Now the last time I remember him doing it, last time I saw it, was when he did it to try to do it with Kenny Omega. And the thing was, I thought he might have done this match where he just shuts down because he realized he can't do what he used to do. Because he used to, because in the match with Kenny Omega, after he did that, he just completely shut down. He was taking all kind of V triggers. He took like 50 million V triggers. I thought the man was dead. So that ended up happening. There was a fine forearm from Naito. Then eventually Okada went for the Rainmaker, kick out after a 2 count, right? So then after that, you know, Naito went for the Destino, kick out. So now they're just going at it, right? Naito ends up hitting another one later in the match, and there was a kick out, and then he said, oh no, I'm gonna go for another one. He tries to go for another Destino, and Naito says F all that, goes for a spinning tombstone, then goes for the Rainmaker, and after he hits the Rainmaker, he holds on to Naito's wrist the whole time while he's on the ground dead. And he goes for another Rainmaker. Right? He goes for another Wait, let me make sure I did this correct. He went for the Rainmaker. Yeah, he held onto his wrist after he went for the Rainmaker. Then, yeah, I got this mixed up. Then Naito hits the Destino, kicks out of it, right? It was hella close. Then he got an elbow to the face. It was an insecurity from Naito. Then a drop kick from Okada, right? It was back and forth. And then when he tried to go for another Destino, that's when Okada went, he reversed into a spinning tombstone, then hits the Rainmaker, 1, 2, 3. Okada wins the match. Now, first, you know, I was kind of upset because I thought the story is, you know, he got robbed of his main event spot at Wrestle Kingdom, so maybe he'll get his spot back. No, he lost the match. Naito lost the match. Okada retained. He's the man. And I feel as though I see what they're doing, I guess. The thing with Naito is that, yeah, he's popular, and yeah, he has good matches for a majority of the time, but he's missing something. He's missing maybe a killer instinct or something like that. He's missing something that's setting him from being the main event player, if that makes any sense. Now, Okada is that something. He has it. He has it. He's the main event guy. He's been putting on great matches all throughout the year, and this is not one of Okada's best matches. This match was good, but it wasn't his best match. It wasn't Kenny Omega and Okada at last year's Wrestle Kingdom where they were going at it and it was the fight to survival. It was a match that happened. Just think about it. The main event, it was a good match. Just say it was a match that main evented SummerSlam that was really good, but it wasn't a WrestleMania match. They didn't leave it. I felt as though there wasn't stuff left all out on the line. Like I said, Okada is the man. Naito was missing something, and I feel as though Naito is eventually going to get that title back. He's going to win the title because he's already beaten Okada for the title at a previous show, but he wants to win it at Wrestle Kingdom. But he lost the match. He walked away. Okada celebrated, and that was Wrestle Kingdom. The show was like 5 hours, and it felt like 5 hours. At least to me it didn't, because I was sitting in an uncomfortable chair, so I was forced to just sit here and watch it. But it was fun. It was a good show. I feel bad for WrestleMania because the planned main event for WrestleMania doesn't look too good, especially since I've known it for a long time now, and now that I know more of what they're trying to do in that match. WrestleMania, yeah, man. Anyways, if you guys want me to expand into other wrestling stuff to review, let me know. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. This is you to support me. You know, all that good stuff or whatever. Anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Peace.